Good evening everyone, it's the Wandering Hermit. Just thought I'd check in, give you an update. Had a lot going on, as always, so apologies for the delay in getting this latest video to you, but yeah, life, just life. I hope you're all having a blessed Beltane, wherever you are. It's been a nice time, nice weekend, and I'm back to the daily grind tomorrow. So I thought I'd take this opportunity as the sun sets, get the fire going, maybe take a minute to get a video out. So here we are, Beltane. Let's be honest, right? Beltane, people call it a fertility festival, people call it a solar festival. Really, it's a celebration of sexuality. Let's just make no bones about it. Beltane is a sex festival. Always has been, and always will be. The earliest sort of written records we have of indigenous Europeans celebrating the festival this time, they all go back to this idea of feasting and frolicking and fornication, the 3 Fs. And really all that is, it's not just for the sake of being perverse, no. It's to celebrate the unification of the god and the goddess in the cosmic copulation. The masculine power of the sun and the feminine power of the earth coming together to produce life in abundance. And that's exactly what this season is all about. The height of life, the abundance of life. We're entering the period of high summer. I mean, the next of the well-known Sabbats is Letha, you know, midsummer solstice. Can tell I'm tired, but yeah, midsummer solstice, when the sun is at the very height of its power. So Beltane really is all about the ascension of that life-giving force, and the marriage of the male and female. That's mirrored in nature. Everything around this time is courting and breeding. Birds courting in the trees. You know, you only have to look at your domestic dogs and cats. They're all at it. Much to the dismay of parents trying to shield their kids' eyes from the sight of 2 dogs getting on, you know. But yeah, that's what this festival's all about. But where does the fire come into it? Well, obviously, being a solar festival, the fire represents the life-giving energy of the sun. Sorry if I look like I'm flowing here, yeah, garden swing. But it also comes from the time when, as farming communities, we'd come together to celebrate the success of the previous year and the harvest that we brought in, and the planting of the new seeds for the new season. And they would take the hay bales that were left over from the previous harvest, you know, those that hadn't been fed to the livestock or whatever, and they'd light a fire in honor of the sun. You know, all agricultural communities revere the sun because it governs the farming year, really. It's the means by which they measure the cycle of their, you know, their ploughing, their sowing, and the harvest. But hay bales really just, not really any symbolic significance, but it's a matter of utility. Hay bales are one of the easiest, most flammable things to start a bonfire with. So there you go, bale fires. And it became the tradition that newly hand-fasted couples or newly-wed couples, they would jump through the flames of the fire. Why? Because fire is a purifying element. So by jumping through the fire, you're purifying yourself, body and soul. And you're also receiving the blessing of the sun through the proxy of the flame, because the sun is represented by that fire. So it's blessing and purifying the new couple. Now, I just want to touch on a couple of things that I've seen recently that have kind of tickled my brain box. The first is this idea of Walpurgisnacht, which, you know, we've just had May 30th. A lot of people mention Walpurgisnacht and they seem to refer to it in conjunction with Beltane. And this puzzles me because I hadn't heard of Walpurgisnacht at all until about 2 or 3 years ago, really. So we did a bit of reading. And if memory serves, Walpurgisnacht is actually a Christian festival from Germany and Eastern Europe in honor of a female saint, a woman referred to as Saint Walpurga or Saint Walpurga. And she was canonized for converting Germanic and East European pagans to Christianity. But a huge part of that was through persecution. And the whole idea of lighting fires for Walpurgisnacht is actually in, pardon me, in honor of the burning of those pagans that wouldn't convert. Which is why in some parts of Europe, when the bonfires are lit, they still throw a little effigy of a witch on the fire. So when I hear or see people in the pagan community saying, oh yeah, blessed Walpurgisnacht, it's like, really though? Christian festival celebrating persecution of pagans? Okay. Unless I'm missing something here. I might be, I don't know. But as I say, if memory serves, that's kind of the crux of Walpurgisnacht. So I don't understand why members of the pagan community would be celebrating it. If you care to enlighten me as to that, by all means, put it in the comments below. The other thing that I've seen Beltane referred to as, and this really made me laugh actually, is the Satanic New Year. And this comes from the idea of the Church of Satan being formed on May 30th. In whatever year it was that it was started, I don't know. It just makes me laugh. Okay, so a group of people in relatively modern times have gotten together and chosen to form their church on or around the pagans' festival of Beltane. And yet you get people saying, oh yeah, it's the Satanic New Year. This is our celebration. We're going to light Baal's fires. I'm like, what? Baal's fires? You mean the Baal fires, right? Now, at first I was like, no, it's nothing to do with Baal. But then I thought a bit deeper and went, okay, no, I can see why you've done that. Because Baal is one of the many names of Satan. Yeah, okay, one of the many names of Satan. But Baal itself as a name comes from Babylonian Hebrew, Baal, which is a corruption of Baal, or Baal. Yeah, this is Baal and Baal. Some people see them as separate beings, other people say, no, it's the same being, two different variations of the name. That's the stance I have on it. Baal or Baal was actually an honorary title which was originally given to Mesopotamian kings and was later used for the Babylonian deity Hadad, who was the god of storms and fertility. And it was around this time of year that Hadad would be honoured with burnt offerings, because he also had a solar connection there. So in a way, right, I can understand from that perspective people saying, oh yeah, it's Baal's fires, it's Hadad's fires, because Baal is a title, not a name. But hey ho, this idea of being the Satanic New Year just because someone chose that arbitrary date upon which to form their mad little cult, no. That doesn't sit right with me at all. This idea of them conflating paganism and I was going to say shamanism then, Satanism, doesn't do wonders for the image of us pagans, really. So, but yeah, just in case any of you out there see that, you'll know what I'm talking about now. Just a little note before I go. With Beltane being the unification of the divine masculine and sacred feminine, I haven't done a video or an article on this yet, I don't think, but I would like to do an in-depth one. But basically I just want to sum up why I refer to them as the divine masculine and sacred feminine, and not the other way around, or divine both or sacred both. To my mind, the archetypal masculine can be described in its purest form as divine, because everything is divine in essence before it is given physical manifestation. So anything in its spiritual form you can refer to as the divine something, like the human spirit is the divine self. So the divine masculine is the spiritual archetype of the masculine, and I'll touch on that in a minute I'll try and define that. Whereas the sacred feminine, I use the word sacred because sacred to me represents something which is pure and something that cannot be touched, or something that cannot be intruded upon, something that's sacrosanct. Something that's divine means, yeah, sure, okay, it's transcendent in many ways, but it's something that can still be see, I don't know what points I'm making here. To me, there's a difference between that which is divine and that which is sacred. And in the human sense, men are divine because we can do virtually everything we put our minds to, virtually, with the exception of creating life from our own bodies. And that is what makes women, the feminine, sacred. Even women who, for some fault of biology, some mishap of biology, are unable to bear children, they still, by predisposition of their sex, in the spiritual archetypal sense, are designed for that purpose. And because of that, I believe women have a much stronger and deeper connection to the divine creative principles. Men have a really strong connection to divine ordering principles, sure, but women have an intuitive and deep-rooted connection to creative principles in general, which is why women are great artists. Women aren't just caregivers and whatever else, but you know, they're great artists, they're great visionaries, because of that intrinsic connection to the creative principle. So that's why I refer to them as the divine masculine and sacred feminine. People say, what is masculine and feminine? But I could do a full video on that, but that's kind of going into mundane territory, so I'll leave it for now. But anyway, yeah, just stuff that's been going on in this mad little box of cogs here. So let me know what you guys are doing in the comments for Beltane this year. Me, I just got me fire, got me cider, got me peace and quiet, which, believe me, is a novelty lately. And hopefully I'll catch up with you again soon, give you an update as to what's going on. Until then, thanks very much for watching. I wish you all a very good day or night wherever you are in the world. May God's go with you. Bye for now. Okay.